What is up, guys? We got another sync licensing video for you today. And the topic is make sure you're chasing down any missing royalties that you might have. I'm also going to be talking about my March 2026 sync fees. And I actually got my biggest sync fee ever from a music library this pay period. So I'm going to share that with you guys as well. So first things first, I'm going to show you certain situations where I wasn't getting the royalties that I should have been and what I did in order to actually receive them. I'm not going to tell you the companies because I don't intend to bash them. I just want you guys to know that it's good to keep track of your stuff and just make sure that you're getting everything. This first one is from a music library that I've been working with for about 4 years. I have 2 albums with them. And so I have a co-writer on one of those albums, and he recently got his statement from this library. They pay biannually, so March and September, you get the sync upfront statements from them. He mentioned that he had gotten something like $120 from our shared tracks with this library, to which I said, I've never even, in the 4 years since this and another album of mine was published with these guys, I've never actually gotten a statement. So I reached out to them. And luckily, they were very helpful. So they went through their records and they found all the royalties for all the tracks that I have with them. And it ended up being about $325. I think the threshold is $100 to get paid for any given statement. So let's take a look. YouTube, quite a lot of stuff. Twitch, some TV stuff. BBC, some stuff in the UK. Nothing huge, like a $13, $16 thing. A lot of Twitch TV show sync fees, but it all adds up to $325. This is all missing royalties. Had I not reached out to these guys, this money would just be sitting somewhere. So I'm glad that I did, and it wasn't anything huge, but hey, it's money. So that was first case where I was missing royalties. Next, so there was another library that I've been working with for 7 years probably now. And I caught this early on. I'm glad that I did. They released an album, and I had 5 tracks on it. The first biannual payment didn't include one of the 5 tracks. There was only 4 of them. So they looked into it, and for some reason, one of the tracks was registered accidentally with one of the other composers that was on the album. So they fixed that quickly, and I noticed that like pretty much right after the album dropped. So had I not noticed it early enough, maybe somebody else would have gotten my royalties the first pay period or whatever. But there you go. Make sure you always check whenever the libraries release your music. Check each track and make sure that the songwriters are listed properly. This was another innocent mistake. I don't blame anybody. I'm glad that I looked at it and I told them about it. I know that no legitimate library would do this on purpose. Some illegitimate libraries have been known to put someone else as a co-writer, even if they weren't a co-writer, like one of the people who works for the library, or just some ghostwriter situation or something, which is not something we want to be involved in. So that was 2. The third situation where I had to chase down royalties, this is a newer one as well. So I'm now a member of BMI, if you guys have seen some of those videos where I switched from ASCAP to BMI. But one library published an album of mine 3 years ago, and they accidentally put BMI as my PRO, even though at the time I was with ASCAP. So I reached out to BMI this week, and they are actually looking into finding those missing royalties because I never got any domestic royalties from these tracks. I only got international, so something happened there. In the first place, I saw the tracks show up on my ASCAP account, but I didn't even think to look that like they showed up on ASCAP, but it still listed BMI as the PRO, which it doesn't make any sense. That's something that you guys should also check to make sure that the PRO listed is correct even within your own PRO registrations. Because even now that I'm with ASCAP, my current stuff gets registered with BMI, but it still shows up in my ASCAP account. And it says like auto created by ASCAP. This is like a database that involves all of the registered tracks with BMI and ASCAP. So make sure it's listed properly. We'll see how long it takes for me to get those, if there are any missing royalties. One final chasing down royalties endeavor was that this one library, they send me statements, and for some reason their payments don't go into my bank because I have an American bank that doesn't participate in the SWIFT program or whatever. So I always have to reach out to them around statement time when the money inevitably doesn't go into my account, and then I have them pay me through PayPal if they can. Yeah, another thing for you guys to check if you don't already check that. It's important to monitor your stuff. Make sure you're using TuneSat and keeping track of which placements you're getting paid for and stuff. And if it's something major, like in the US, like a commercial, or even if it's not the US, but if you get a commercial or a big network placement in the US, then reach out to the libraries and see if there were sync fees for them. The ones that you have a good relationship with should tell you, or they'll go through the sub-publisher that was responsible for getting the placement. And hopefully they can track it down, see if you got something or not. I've chased down the stuff a bunch of times, and usually it pays off, so it's good for you guys to really keep track of the stuff. Okay, moving on to breaking down some of my royalties from March 2026. Most of this is income from libraries themselves rather than the PROs. However, I got $71 from ASCAP. This is the publishing month. That's just from claiming my live performances and stuff, because most of my licensing stuff is with other publishers, so my publishing account doesn't get that much. Also, CSAC, I have 5 tracks that go through them. I got $17 from that, so not much there. I'm sure you guys are curious to see the biggest sync fee I've had. On a statement here, the amount of money is 3,114 Danish krones, which translates to about $500 US. TV reproduction rights is what it translates to for Germany. This is for a ukulele happy track that I have that's pretty old now, 7 years old. I really like doing this style of music. In fact, this library reached out to me only a month before I got this and said that this album's just doing really well. We'd like to have a fresh album of this style from you, to which I am writing one. That's what I've been doing for the past few weeks. It's all real instruments, ukulele and percussion and bass, bongos, triangle, etc. It's good stuff, and I think that the reason it does so well is because it is real instruments, and it's not quantized to crap. It's actually real and sounds happy, and like stuff is a little bit out of time at points, but in a good way, because you know it's real. This statement is also 6 pages, but it's like $550, and 500 of it was that one placement. I think my second highest sync fee ever was a $375 one, which was for a radio commercial. Might have been Mountain Dew. Some other libraries, I didn't hit the threshold. Usually it's like $100 or €100 or 100 GBP, the threshold for you to get paid. And some of them send you statements and some of them don't. So I actually got a $104 payment from a library, which didn't include a statement. So it's just the money. Same thing, another one I got $80. Another one, I did get a statement, but it was like $55. I'm going to show you this one real quick. So this was a statement here for about $80, something for $10. It's kind of hard to understand what the statement means because it's just like the track title, and it says either blanket or mechanical performance or masters or whatever. So this is only 8 tracks, and they're pretty old now, so I'm just glad that it's still getting something there. This library is actually quite good for sync fees. So all in all, you add together my earnings from sync licensing for the month. It was slightly higher than the same month last year, which is good. Part of that is because of that one library that paid me all of the $325 at once, rather than I probably would have gotten like once a year for the last couple of years. So without that, I would have been a little bit lower than the same time last year. But with that, I'm like $35 higher, which is crazy because you're dealing with kind of bigger numbers, but the difference is only very small. Yeah, so moral of the story, guys, work with libraries that get sync fees and keep track of your sync fees and keep track of everything that you should be earning, because mistakes can be made. It's usually innocent mistakes. So nobody's to blame, but you're the only one who's going to personally keep track of your own royalties and everything. So I suggest that you do. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you did well in your statements. We'll see you in the next one.